What's up, everybody? Chicago Show Off here, and I'm back for another episode of Shooting for Real. Topic today, the PG era. Now, we've all had our great eras over the years, and we've all had some eras that we don't like. So, I'm just going to go down the line and talk about each one of them. 70s, we had the era which basically brought the WWE into mainstream consciousness. In the 80s, saw the birth of WrestleMania and Saturday Night's main events. And in the 90s, that's when Vince had his whole steroid scandal, and that plummeted him down hard. But just like any great business, he bounced back up. And about the mid-90s, he bounced back up, and that's when we saw the Attitude Era start going on. And then, the Attitude Era lasted from about 97 to 2003, and then 2004 to 2007, we had the Ruthless Aggression Era. And then from 2007 to now, we've got the overly boring PG era. Now, people always say Josh is not going to change. They got to pander to kids, and there's no other way, and this is the best way for them. Don't tell me that shit. There's plenty of other ways to pander to kids and make a product bigger and better. There's many ways to make a product bigger and better. I was 6 years old watching that era. I was 6 years old live in the arena watching Raw when Undertaker sacrificed Stone Cold Steve Austin on his symbol. It entertained me. It scared the shit out of me, but it entertained me. Basically, what I'm trying to say is there's many other ways to pander to kids. You can't see me. I don't like Cena. And all you Cena fans out there, yeah, go ahead. He's old, he's boring, he's stale. He needs either a gimmick change, a repackage, or a heel turn, which none of them are going to happen. But I'm not going to get into Cena. I'll talk about Cena on another episode. There are so many ways to make a product better. We need more edgy storylines. We need more unpredictability. It hurts me to have to look and watch a show and be like, he's about to turn heel. Oh, he's going to cash in his Money in the Bank. Oh, face turn. Oh, they're going to have an ambulance match, Hell in a Cell match. It's degrading to true wrestling fans such as myself who's watched it as long as I am to be able to predict everything. Just because we predict everything doesn't make us smart. It means we know what they're going with and what they're doing. And just because we can predict stuff doesn't mean we like it. We don't like to be able to predict everything. We want to be like, to look at a product and watch an angle and be like, what the fuck was that? I want that again. I know true wrestling fans that will agree with me want that same thing. We want unpredictability. We want edginess. We want more hard-hitting facts and storylines. I mean, we got some now, but this is SummerSlam. Anytime there's a big pay-per-view like SummerSlam, man, there's going to be great storylines. Whether or not they stick with it after SummerSlam is another thing. But more than likely, they're going to go back to the same washed-up, recycled bubblegum garbage like they've been doing. I get tired of that, and I know true wrestling fans get tired of it too. Let me tell you something, guys. If you're a true wrestling fan out there, you will agree with everything I'm saying right now. There's so much better ways to do stuff. Like, let me give you an example of some of the past Raws in the past few months that have been good. You know who's writing them? Zeb Coulter and Paul Heyman. And what I don't understand is, what's the thought process that some of these writers go through when they're getting a storyline or angle ready? The way I see it, if you're going to do a storyline and an angle, sit the people that's involved in that angle down and put your fan perspective into it. Because I know a lot of them, or most of them, are still fans of the sport. And sit down and go over the parts of the angle and be like, if we do this, if I was to watch this as a fan, if I was to put this out, would I be able to understand this? Would they be able to comprehend what we're trying to go with? And the process that we're trying to bring to them. That's what you need to do. I can give you an example of one of the worst angles in WWE. The Imposter Kane angle with Kane and Luke Gallows. Alright. I'll start off with the summary of it. Basically, Kane's in the ring. You hear Kane's music playing. And you see somebody dressed him in his old Attitude Era gear coming down. And you're like, the fuck is this shit? And it didn't make no sense because they really didn't build up to it. They didn't give a good description of it, of how it was going to be laid out. The only thing that they did was have little creepy vignettes on the Titantrons every now and then when Kane had a match or when Kane had a backstage segment, and you hear voices like, May 19th, it's happening again, you can't escape, it's time to come and face it, it's happening. And then that's it. And then you see, like, in the Titantron, you see Kane's old mask and his eye and the dark eye with the eyeshadow and all that crap. And then when it finally happened, you seen Kane in the ring get ready to do his pyro. Next thing you know, you hear the vignette, and then you hear Kane's old music, dun, dun, and then you hear the pyro. Next thing you know, you see Luke Gallows dressed up as Kane from the Attitude Era with his hair all messed up because he didn't wet it or whatever. And he goes out there and he gets in the ring and just looks at Kane. Like Kane looked at The Undertaker back when he debuted. Turned his head some. Choke slammed him. Did the pyro. Left. And then you're like, what the fuck was that? It didn't make no sense. They didn't build up anything. All they did was have like a few backstage segments. They had one pay-per-view match, and I'm forgetting which Lee Imposter Kane won. And like, the next night on Raw, Kane, the real Kane, Glenn, beat the crap out of the Imposter Kane, dragged him backstage, took the mask off and threw him out the door. And that was the end. And basically, Luke Gallows talked about that, saying how they killed it because fans couldn't understand it. And I couldn't understand it either. Basically, to get back on track, there's so many ways you can make a product better. You don't have to make everything so PG. I mean, I'll give you another example. All this blood stuff. I mean, we've seen blood before. We know what it looks like. We know what it is. Let me ask you a question. If you get hit 3 times or 4 times with a steel chair and you don't bleed, does that make sense? Is that realistic? If somebody hit me about 3 or 4 times with a steel chair as hard as they could, I'm pretty sure I'm going to bleed. Or if somebody hit me with this ladder right here, I'm pretty sure it should make me bleed. You gotta make sense. I mean, and when they show clips of past matches that had blood in it, they black out the TV and make it black and white, like we're not supposed to pay attention or we're not going to notice it. But you're still going to notice it. You can see the splatter on their face. I mean, really? Excuse me. Or like when it's on live TV, like when Brock Lesnar got busted open, and like they would show clips back of it, they would cut the camera off or black and white the TV. I'm like, really? Don't insult us. You're really insulting us as fans by doing the crap that you're doing. True fans, like myself, don't like this. Vince, WWE, it's time for a change. You can't stay the same forever. It gets boring. You've got to keep going with the times. If you don't, you're going to get left behind. You can't stay the same. Fix it up. Up the ante. Do something. Split Raw and SmackDown again. Have a draft. Do something. I can give you 5 good things that can start the process of getting the Attitude Era better. 1. Start using good talent. Quit wasting good talent that's just sitting in the back and doing stupid segments with the fucking Bella Twins or Khali or stupid backstage segments that's not really doing anything to progress an angle. Like when Ryback just beat the crap out of some ring crew worker or an indie worker and threw him through a table. What was that to progress? You need, if you're going to have a backstage segment, make sure it's an interview or something that has to do with the angle or a match that's happening. Like, Simplex Match with Fandango, he has an interview talking about that and talking about his angle with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. That's realistic and that's sensible. Don't, like, have a match, the next match coming up is John Cena versus Ryback and have the Bella Twins talk. I mean, I understand everybody got to get their TV time, but make it make sense to what's going on next. Get rid of all the talent that actually doesn't need to be there and actually cannot provide anything for us. First example, actually, there's only one person I can see right now that's not any good. That's a Great Khali. The fact that he's still employed by the WWE is beyond my control and it's beyond my comprehension. The fact that he was world champion at one point is really crazy, and that gets under my skin. I mean, like, we've got great talent: Natalya, Tyson Kidd, Wade Barrett, Antonio Cesaro, Daniel Bryan. I can go on and on and on. Fix it. Second, either bring back or add on to the Divas division the women's title. Keep the Divas title. Have that be the mid-card title, and have the women's title be the main event title. See how I'm going with this? Sign Paige to the main roster. She's one of the best damn developmental divas that NXT has right now. And she deserves it. Get her in there, put her on the roster, Put her in an angle with AJ. Put her in an angle with Natalya. Guarantee that'll be one of the best matches you've ever seen in the division on Monday Night Raw. Guarantee you. Bring back the European Championship. Have a tournament and put either Antonio Cesaro or Wade Barrett over for it. As a matter of fact, the finals of that tournament, have it be Antonio Cesaro versus Wade Barrett and give it to either one of them. Also, bring back the Cruiserweight title. Who was the last person to hold the Cruiserweight title? Hornswoggle? Really? To quote The Miz, really? Really? Have a Cruiserweight Invitational, have all the Cruiserweights 230 pounds and less in that match, put Tyson Kidd over on it, have him the new Cruiserweight Champion. Look at that. It's only been 10 minutes in this and I've already come up with great ideas to help. How hard is that for them? Bring back the Hardcore Championship and the 24... You don't have to bring back the 24/7 rule, really. Bring back the Hardcore title. We need more titles in the WWE. That way we can give good talent a push and get some airtime. Is it that hard? Is it that hard? Is it that hard to figure that shit out? I just figured that shit out and I was 10 minutes into my video. If I can come up with it, I guarantee there's more true fans out there that come up with a lot more stuff too. It's not that hard, guys. I don't see how any of those ideas could cause problems for the business. That would only make the business better. If anybody wants to give comments below and tell me, give me feedback and let me know if I'm saying anything wrong, because I sure as hell don't think, I think I've gave great ideas. Give me your feedback. Comment below, positive, negative, I don't care. And I'll comment back and let you know my opinions. We can have a positive feedback and be like, hey, this is fucking awesome. Or I got some troll running his mouth the whole time. I'll comment back on that and I'll give him my opinions. Okay, in conclusion, there are so many great ways to make this product better. Make it edgier, make it unpredictable, give the talent that's busting their ass the opportunities and the pushes they deserve, and bring some titles back in the picture and sign better talent. Simple as that. Well, guys, I'm out of time for today. Tune in next Tuesday, and I'll throw in another episode. If you're not following me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter at Chicago Show Off. I'll put the link down there. And if you got a topic you want to throw at me, follow me on Twitter and throw a topic at me. Alright, guys, this is Chicago Show Off, and you've just been shot for real. Later, guys.